Hello and welcome to this week's yoga session. This week we're going to be focusing on two different aspects of asana practice or posture practice. The first, movement into and out of postures, usually with the breath, and secondly focusing on holding postures in a somewhat mindful state. But we'll start with a few stretches, so coming into just standing posture with the feet about hips width apart, and then breathing in as we raise the arms, lifting up and keep the heels on the floor to start with, and exhaling, bringing the hands back down to the sides. So inhaling, lifting up, keeping the tailbone tucking downwards and the lower spine long, exhaling as we lower down. Inhaling as we lift up, and then interlinking the fingers, pushing the palms to the ceiling, pressing down through the heels, feeling the backs of the legs stretching. And breathing out as we bring the hands down. And then this time coming up onto the balls of the feet. Lifting up and breathing out, lowering down. Trying to keep the breath flowing all the way, so the breath is flowing throughout the movement and keeps going a bit at the end of the movement. Exhaling, coming down, and trying to control the lift of the feet, so your top stretch, highest stretch as you bring the hands to the top, and ideally the heels are only hitting the mat as the hands come down to the sides. And then we'll just hold that last lift, lifting up, stretching up, feeling the calf muscles working, and then lowering back down. Coming into a side stretch, just put your right hand, I'll do it mirror image, onto the waist, lift the left arm, stretch over to the right, and hold that stretch, breathing into the left side of the rib cage, as though you're just breathing into the left lung. And lowering opposite side, stretching over to your left. Breathing into the right side of the ribcage, into the right lung. And bring the hand back down. And this is always give the arms a shake out, get the blood flowing. Floppy wrists. And shaking out one leg and the other. And then coming to the front of the mats, we'll do a few half forward bends. So we can have the feet slightly apart, about hips width. Beginning in Tadasana. And then breathing in as you raise the arms. You might bring the palms together, looking up. Exhaling, folding forwards, allowing the knees to bend. So you can bring the knees to fingertips to the floor and you feel the upper body lengthening downwards. And then inhaling to the half forward bend, so you can bring the hands onto the shins. So you push the backs of the knees back and lengthen up the front of the body. Exhaling, folding forwards again, maybe allowing the knees to bend again. And then coming all the way up, you can keep the knees slightly bent, but straight back. Exhaling, bringing the hands back to the sides. Inhaling, stretching up. Again, keeping the breath moving all the way through. Exhaling, folding forwards. Inhaling, lengthening forwards. Exhaling, folding forwards, starting to stretch the hamstrings slightly more. Inhaling, raising the arms. Exhaling, bring the hands back to the sides. Last time, inhaling, stretching up. Exhaling, folding forwards, leading with the chest. Inhaling, half forward bend. And then exhaling, holding the full forward bend. Legs might be a bit straighter, but they could still be slightly bent. Just feel that there's a stretch down the back of the body from the base of the spine. The upper body can be bending forwards. Then moving into a sun salutation, stepping back with the right foot. We'll put the right knee down and raise raise the arms. Hips are inching forwards and down. Hands to the floor, step back, downward facing dog. Inhaling, come forwards to a plank, you can pause there, and then lowering down, you can put the knees down first, chin and chest. Bring the arms, the hands slightly forward, slightly apart. Elbows down, come up into a gentle cobra. No need to straighten the arms. Exhaling, hands back towards the sides of the ribs, push back through all fours, down dog. Inhaling, step forward with the right foot, left knee down. Raise the arms. Exhaling, stepping forwards. Inhale, the half forward bend. Exhale, full forward bend. Inhaling, coming all up. Exhaling, hands back to the sides. Second side. Inhaling, lifting. Exhaling, folding forwards. Inhaling, half forward bend. Exhaling, full forward bend. Inhaling, left foot back, left knee down, raising the arms. Exhaling, step back, downward facing dog. Inhaling to a plank, lowering down. Hands slightly forwards. Inhaling, gentle cobra, breathing into the upper chest. Exhaling, push back, all fours, down dog. Inhaling, left foot forwards, right knee down, raising the arms. Exhaling, stepping forwards, head down. Inhaling, half forward bend. Exhaling, full forward bend. Inhaling, coming all the way up. Exhaling, hands to the sides. And coming into Tadasana, pausing, bringing the body back to stillness, feeling the weight between the feet, from the back to the front of the feet. Strong quadriceps, tailbone lengthening, lower back long. Shoulders are back and down, chin tucking back but level. Heart rate slowing. And then once more, inhaling as we lift the arms. Exhaling as we fold forwards. Inhaling to the half forward bend. Exhaling, full forward bend, and then bend the knees as much as you need to get the palms flat to the floor. And then we'll step back one foot at a time into downward facing dog. And then bring the knees to the floor, coming to an all fours position. And here we'll do some cat-cow stretches, flexing and extending the spine, inhaling, opening the chest, rotating the pelvis up, exhaling, pelvis rotates down, feeling the wave moving up the spine, each in breath and each out breath. Initiating the movement from the base of the spine, feeling that wave of movement moving up the spine as though one vertebra at a time is moving. Imagining them all linked together, all capable of moving separately. And then finally sinking down onto the heels. Take a few breaths in child posture, so placing the hands wherever is comfortable. Feel the shoulders relax down. Breathe slowly and deeply into the belly. You can keep the knees and the feet hips width apart. But then we'll stretch out the arms, planting the palms, hands are a little wider than shoulders width, the fingers are spreading, elbows are off the floor, and then come up to all fours. Check that the wrist creases are parallel to the front of the mat. Tuck the toes, push up to downward facing dog. And then lowering the knees, sinking back onto the heels. Keep the hands where they are, try not to move them. And we'll do that a couple more times with the breath. So you inhale up to all fours, lengthening up the front of the body, tuck the toes. Exhaling, unfurling into downward facing dog, and keep the knees again a little bent. Inhaling, knees to the floor, the breath's flowing continuously, not holding the breath. Exhaling, sinking into the heels or towards the heels. Inhaling all fours. Exhaling down dog. Inhaling all fours. Exhaling child. Last time as we come up, inhaling all fours, exhaling down dog, and then we'll try to hold down dog in stillness. We'll take a few breaths to sort of settle into the posture. So as you breathe in, you can imagine the chest, upper body expanding. As you breathe out, feel the spine and the arms lengthening. Inhaling, expanding, exhaling, lengthening. Inhaling, expanding, exhaling, lengthening. And then being conscious of maintaining the slow breath, but feeling the body coming to complete stillness, other than the small movements in the chest and the abdomen as you breathe. If you're finding it getting too strong, bring the knees down to the floor and then perhaps come back up after a short pause. As the body comes to stillness, feel that the mind is settling, coming to stillness like a lake as the ripples spread out and the surface of the lake smooths. And then bring the knees back to the floor and sink back down to child posture. And this time you can bring the hands back, maybe palms up. Feel the wrists releasing, feel the shoulders releasing. And again breathing into the belly. And then reaching forwards with the arms, and we'll breathe up, flowing up to downward facing dog. And then stepping forwards with your left foot. I'll do my right foot, do this mirror image. And we can start with the right knee on the floor, bring our hands onto the knee, and then keeping the back toes, the right toes tucked under, raising the arms. And we'll hold in this raised runner position, feel the weight going down through the front foot. If you want to make this stronger, then you could press down through the back toes and lift the back knee. If you're doing that, you want to check that the pelvis is staying roughly level and you're not having a large curve in the lumbar spine. So you could just try bending the back knee and feel that helps to straighten, lengthen out the back, the lower back. And then straightening the front leg. You might want to step the back foot forwards to adjust. And we'll bring the right heel down to the floor, so that the foot is about 60 degrees or maybe 30 degrees to the centre line. Check that the hips are square with the front of the mat. And we'll do a kind of diving pyramid posture. So bringing the hands to prayer position. So the front leg is going to be straightening, but it might be slightly bent. Think about keeping the balls of the toes and the big toe pressing into the mat. And then we turn the fingers down, and as though we're scanning down the front of the leg, moving downwards, and then stretching the arms forwards and back up to the prayer position. We'll do that a couple more times. So you can breathe out as you move down the leg, and breathing in as you come back up. Maintain awareness of pressing down to the back foot. You might start to raise the hands a bit higher as you come up. And then last time, moving the hands down. And then, if you remember to have some blocks handy, you could bring the hands onto blocks or bricks, or keep the hands on the leg, or bring the hands to the floor, and again, if you need to, bend the front leg. If you have bent the front leg, then just think about moving the left hip back to work on straightening the front leg. Lengthen the front body forwards and then hold. Breathe into the posture. Be aware of the whole body. And if it does feel slightly uncomfortable, just be aware of that discomfort. As usual, if there's any actual pain, then come out of the posture. But if it's just slight discomfort, then just be aware of that. Be aware of the whole position of the body, and the body coming to stillness. Breath even. Still breathing into the belly. And then coming into a revolved triangle posture from here. So we're keeping the left hand on the floor, or it could be on a brick or a block. So that's the right hand. Bring the left hand to the hip. Turn the body to your left. Raising the arm last. Still pressing back to the outer edge of the right foot, sorry. Keep looking to the side if that's best for your balance. Always look downwards if you're uncertain of balance. Otherwise, you can always try looking up. Maintain a kind of peripheral awareness of the entire room if you're looking up. That will help with the balance. Again, holding this posture. Even though it's uncomfortable at times, just being aware of that discomfort. Being aware of your body in this position. And then bring the left hand back down to the floor. Lower the knee. Pause in the lunge. And then just step back with the left foot to all fours and sink back onto the heels and pause in child posture. And again, come to the comfortable position for you and allow the breath to slow. And then stretching the arms forwards. We'll do that on the right side. Breathing in, all fours, breathing out, down dog. And this time stepping forwards with your right foot. Bring the left knee to the floor. Hands on the front knee, keep the back toes tucked under. Come into the raised position, and stay here with the knee on the floor. Or if you want to make it a bit stronger, lift the back leg, and again you could bend that knee slightly, helping you to lengthen out the lower spine. If you've done that, then keeping the pelvis in position, start to straighten out the back leg again as much as you can. And then straightening the front leg, maybe hop the back foot forwards, bring the heel to the floor. Check the hips are square to the front of the mat. Bring the hands to Anjali Mudra, prayer position. And then we come into this diving version of pyramid posture, Parsvottanasana. Take an in-breath and then exhaling, pointing the fingers down, scanning down that front leg. Inhaling, lifting back up. Exhaling, scanning down. Inhaling, coming up, perhaps lifting the hands a bit higher. Exhaling, scanning down. Inhaling, raising the arms. And then coming back to the prayer position. And then last time coming down and holding the stretch, bringing the hands onto bricks, onto the leg, onto the floor. Maybe bending the front knee. Thinking of the weight going down to the front of the right foot. Awareness of the outer edge of the left foot staying in contact with the mat. Lengthen up the front of the body from the left hip to the sternum, to the right hip to the sternum. And once more, slowing the breath, settling into the posture. Quietening the mind as the body stills. And then weighting to the left hand, turn the body to the right into Parivrtta Trikonasana. You can always keep the hand on the hip, you could always keep looking down or to the side, or turning the head, keeping the chin sort of tucked in a bit so you're not dropping the head back. Looking up towards the ceiling, maintaining that peripheral awareness of the entire room. Gaze is soft. And then bringing the hand back down, knees to the floor, step back to all fours, and once more sinking down into the child posture, into your comfortable child posture. Check that the face muscles are relaxed and the jaws relaxed and you're not clamping the teeth together. And then come back up to all fours and then step the knees back, we'll lower down into a prone position. And just rock the hips from side to side to start with. Checking there's no tension in the lower back, releasing any that's there. Bringing the legs together, pointing through the balls of the big toes. And then we'll do a floating hands approach to the cobra posture. So we'll bring the hands back so that the fingertips are kind of level with the shoulders. Bring the elbows in and act as though you're pushing the elbows down towards the mat. Look down, and then as you breathe in, we're moving the nose forwards, lifting the chest, allowing the hands to lift up and hover off the floor, and exhaling, lowering back down. So it's kind of sweeping movement, scooping movement as you come up, exhaling as you lower down. Inhaling as you come up, exhaling as you lower down. Last time, lifting up and holding the lifts, then just place the palms on the floor, keep the elbows in, and just start to put a bit of pressure through the palms until you're supporting the upper back, but without moving the upper back any higher. And then hold this position. Again, breathing steadily, visualizing the spine, chest, or the elbows moving back, shoulder blades moving down the back, and then release back down. You can rest the head on the hands, or we'll lift the feet and take the feet in circles together a few times. And then go the other way. And then with the feet raised, taking them from side to side, feeling the pelvis rotating slightly from the base of the spine. And then lowering the feet back down, taking the feet more towards the edges of the mat, taking the knees a bit wider towards the edges of the mat, and then allowing the heels to rotate downwards inside the toes. And then we can just, again, bring the chin onto the hands or turn the head to one side or the other. Allow the whole of the front of the body to relax into the floor. And then if you've got your head turned to one side, just lift and turn it to the opposite side. And then bringing the hands back onto the shoulders, push back to all fours. We'll sink down onto the heels, keep the arms stretched out for a moment. We can have the knees and the feet together if that's comfortable. Have the arms stretched out in front, bring the head down, and then breathe into the upper back. So feel the upper back expanding, widening, lengthening, lifting. Deep, slow inhalations, maybe holding the breath for a moment or two at the top of each in-breath. And then lifting up into a kneeling position, and we can bring the legs forwards and coming into a seated position. So maybe a comfortable cross-leg position, maybe a kneeling position, maybe sitting up on your block. And we'll bring the hands up onto the shoulders and we'll lift up the upper body and we'll do some dynamic twisting. So breathing out as you go to one side, breathing into the centre, breathing out to the other side. Each time you come to the centre, just checking that the lift is still there in the lower back. And then next time you come to one side or the other, just holding there, bring the hands down, one hand behind you, the other hand onto the side of the leg or the knee. Draw the body up on the inhale and just start to twist slightly more on the exhale, more using the abdomen to pull you around rather than using the arms. This is using the arms to hold you there. And then come back to the front to the other side. Again, take the lengthening inhale and then exhaling on the twist. Back to face the front and stretch the legs out. Bounce them up and down, wriggle the feet. Recross the legs. And we'll take the arms out to the sides, draw the hands back, and then we come into this sort of cow position dynamically with the arms. So each time you breathe in, you're taking the arms out to the sides, drawing them back. As you exhale, you're bringing the hands up towards each other behind you, trying to keep the hands away from the back of the body. And then holding in one position, you can just grab with your fists the back of the shirt, putting the elbows one down, one up and back, rotating the arms from the shoulders back behind you, chest opening, lower back lifting up. And then going around the other way. Again, maybe just grabbing hold of the shirt if you can't hook the fingers. Taking the elbows back towards the wall behind you, lifting up through the chest. And releasing, stretching out the legs, bouncing the legs up and down. And then we'll come into Ardha Matsyendrasana, another twist. So do this mirror image, so you can bring your left foot outside the right leg, keep the right leg stretched out, or bring the foot back to the hip, and then you'll be turning to your left, so bring the right hand behind you, grab hold of the knee with the opposite hand, draw the body up, rotating to your left, and once more easing into the twist, so using the breath to move fractionally into the twist. So the inhale is the lengthening as you hold the position. The exhale may be moving slightly further into the twist. Doing this 2 or 3 times till you come to your comfortable maximum, and then we hold. Any last movements to bring the body to stillness, and then holding that position, being aware of the body, being aware particularly of the spine, of the twist, or in the spine, from the base of the spine up to the shoulders. Being aware of where the breath is moving. Maybe there's a slight constriction in the breath. Feeling the pressure through the left foot into the mat. Just a light pressure, awareness of the mat. Feeling the mat beneath the sit bones. Feeling that very air on your skin as you hold this shape. Trying to maintain that awareness of the body as you mindfully move to the opposite side. So in your own time, in your own way, with your own movements, draw the body up on the inhale, rotating to your right on the exhalation. Easing into the posture with 2 to 3 breaths, slight subtle movements. Any final adjustments, and then bringing the body to stillness. Just that slight movement in the chest and the abdomen as the breath is entering and leaving the body. Feel that the body is sinking into the posture, into the asana. And then turning to face the front, stretch the legs out, and bounce the knees up and down. Bring the legs together, flexing the feet, strengthening the legs. And we'll inhale, stretching up the front of the body, raising the arms. Exhale, bring the hands down, and then moving the hands forwards along the floor as the chest moves towards the feet, the lower back moves towards the upper thighs. And then breathing in, lifting back, raising the arms, pressing down through the knees, exhaling. As you move forwards, if you've got shortish hamstrings, you could feel the knees bending. Inhaling, coming back, raising up, now pressing down through the knees. Exhaling, bringing the hands to the floor, and then just moving them gently forwards as the chest moves towards the feet. Last time, lifting up, keeping the toes pointing to the ceiling. Exhaling, shifting forwards, and then holding here. You can then allow the upper back to fold forwards in this position. Again, you might have the knees bending. And relax the body, maintaining the awareness of the stretch in the hamstrings, the lengthening of the lower back and the upper back. The feel of the mat and the palms of the hands, the feel of the pressure through the heels and the sit bones. And allowing the mind to still once more like that smooth, calm mountain lake. And lifting back to Dandasana. Just pausing Dandasana for a moment, rotating the elbows back as the shoulders move back and down. And then releasing, just bouncing the knees. And then we'll inch forwards. And finally we'll come into a dynamic bridge posture. So have enough space behind you to reach back. Check that the feet are about hips width and parallel, close in towards the body. And then lowering down on your elbows. Hands by the sides, palms face down. And as you inhale, press down through the feet, push the knees away from you as you raise the arms. They may not reach the floor behind you, that's fine. Press down through the feet, lifting the hips. Exhaling, the hands come down to the sides at the same time as the spine kind of lays itself down on the mat. And the sacrum comes down last. So inhaling, lifting up. Exhaling, lowering back down. Smooth breath, keeping the breath flowing constantly, lasting slightly longer than the movement in each direction, inhalation, exhalation. And next time we come up, we hold the lift. And next time you inhale, press down a bit more through the feet, try and breathe into the rib cage, maybe you can get slightly more height. And then hold. Keep the jaw relaxed, face muscles relaxed. Always close the eyes. And then keep the arms back behind you as you lower the spine. Keeping the hands behind you, stretch out the legs one at a time. Legs together, feet flex, push away through the heel, push away through the arms. Take a slow, deep inhalation, breathing into the chest this time. Exhaling all the way out, holding the out breath, and then drawing in on the abdomen as you hold the out breath. Just drawing the abdomen back up in towards the rib cage, drawing in the diaphragm. Hold that for a count or two, however long is comfortable, and then release. Breathe slowly in, repeat that twice. You can always hold the breath for a second or two at the top of the inhalation, just to get the blood, or the oxygen into the blood, And then exhaling all the way out. And then drawing back on the strong Uddiyana Bandha. Exhaling, more releasing rather, and then inhaling. Then exhaling all the way out. Last time, maybe you can hold the out breath slightly longer, but no longer than is comfortable. And releasing. One more inhalation. Just hold the inhalation and then breathe out through the mouth. And we'll bring the hands down to the sides of the body and we'll come from here straight into Shavasana. So you can move the feet slightly further apart, allow the feet to roll out to the sides. I quite often just sort of contract and release the buttock muscles just to take any tension out of the legs and the lower back. Press down to the back of the head, bring the shoulder blades closer and flat to the floor. You can always sort of flop the hands from side to side and then leave them palms face up. Just move the jaw from side to side to take any tension out of the jaw muscles. And then bring the lips lightly together, keeping space between upper and lower sets of teeth. Releasing the tongue down into the lower jaw. And then the breath is slowing back to its natural, relaxed rhythm, nice and slow, probably fairly shallow. And again, bring the body to complete stillness. In this posture, the body is completely supported, no tensing of muscles is required to keep the body in this position, which is why it's good to keep the feet separated so you're not holding the feet, maintaining tension in the leg muscles. Allow the fingers to curl naturally. And every breath, every out breath is allowing the body to release any last vestiges of tension. And we'll hold this position for a couple more minutes. Once more allowing the mind to settle. Watching the ripples spreading. The surface of the lake. Smoothing out. Just reflecting the deep blue of the sky above. And starting to deepen the breath slightly as we prepare to move into a seated position to finish the session. And stretching the arms and legs, maybe bringing the knees into the chest and hugging the knees, rolling from side to side. And then rolling over onto one side or the other. Opening the eyes. And then coming up into a comfortable seated position, kneeling or cross-legged. And we'll finish with a short pranayama session with some Ujjayi breathing and some breath retention. So once more bringing the body into stillness. This is the necessary toning in the core muscles to hold the body. And then becoming aware of the breath. Lightly toning the perineum and the lower abdominal muscles. And then you can imagine as you inhale that the breath is lifting up from the perineum, up the spine, into the area of the heart and expanding there. And as you breathe out, descending back down. So we'll begin without breath retention, breathing in for a count of 4 and exhaling for a count of 4. Possibly making that slight sound of the Ujjayi breath in the back of the throat. For each inhalation, feel that you're drawing the energy up the spine from the Muladhara chakra area, up to the area of the heart where it expands, and feeling the energy flowing back down on the exhalation, and finishing the exhalation by just re-engaging on the Mulabandha and the toning of the perineum. And holding that as you begin the next inhalation. And then with the next inhalation, just holding the inhalation at the top for another count of 4. So breathing in for a count of 4, holding the in-breath for 4, breathing out for a count of 4. And as you hold the inhalation, you're maintaining that awareness of the Mulabandha. And you're aware of the kind of energy being held around the area of the heart. You're feeling any tension in the area of the heart completely releasing. And maybe feeling a change in the feel of your thoughts, of your mind, as you hold the breath. Maybe the breath settles and the mind settles at the same time. As you hold the breath within the body. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste.